ध्वजकोरु मोरे श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु ध्वजकोरु मोरे तुम बिना के दयालु जगत संसारे श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु दया करो मोरे तुम बिना के दयालु जगत संसारे पतित पावन हेतु तव अवतार पतित पावन हेतु तव अवतार मोसमा पतिता प्रभु न पाइबे आरा मोसमा पतिता प्रभु न पाइबे आरा आहा प्रभु नित्यानंद प्रेमानंद सुखी आहा प्रभु नित्यानंद प्रेमानंद सुखी कृपा बलो काना करो आमी बड़ो दुखी कृपा बलो काना करो आमी बड़ो दुखी दया करो सीतापति अद्वैत गोसाई दया करो सीतापति अद्वैत गोसाई तव कृपा बले पाय चैतन्य निताय तव कृपा बले पाय चैतन्य निताय दया करो श्री आचार्य हाह स्वरूप सनातन परगुनाथ हाह स्वरूप सनातन परगुनाथ बट जुग श्री जीव प्रभु लोकनाथ बट जुग श्री जीव प्रभु लोकनाथ दया करो श्री आचार्य प्रभु श्रीनिवास दया करो श्री आचार्य प्रभु श्रीनिवास रामचंद्र संगा मगे नरोत्तम दास रामचंद्र संगा मगे नरोत्तम दास श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु दया करो मोरे श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु दया करो मोरे तुम बिना के दयालु जगत संसारे तुम बिना के दयालु जगत संसारे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu दया करो मोरे, तुम बिना के दयालु जगत संसारे. Hare Krishna. How many of our audience today do not understand Telugu? Can you all quickly raise hand or tell me? అస్సలు తెలుగు అర్థం అవ్వని వాళ్ళు.
మరి మాతాజీ క్లాస్ తెలుగులో ఉంటుందా?
లేదు, ఇంగ్లీష్ అని చెప్పారు. బట్ మాతాజీ ఆస్క్డ్ మీ టు టెల్ లిటిల్ ఇన్ తెలుగు ఆల్సో. అందుకని ఇఫ్ దెర్ ఆర్ మాతాజీస్ హూ డు నాట్ నో తెలుగు, దెన్ వీ కెన్ యాజ్ వెల్ డూ ద క్లాస్ ఇన్ ఇంగ్లీష్, రైట్? అందుకని
థ్యాంక్ యూ మాతాజీ.
సో
ఓన్లీ వన్.
ఓకే, బట్ కెన్ స్టిల్ డూ ఇన్. I am sharing some Mangalacharna shlokas. We'll quickly recite the Mangalacharna shlokas. Is everybody able to see the screen?
Yes, Mataji.
Do I hide this? Hide floating. Please, everybody be in mute so that the other disturbances are not. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने. नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे. नामश्रेष्ठं मनुमपि शचीपुत्रमत्र स्वरूपं रूपं तस्याग्रजमुरुपुरीं माथुरीं गोष्ठवाटीं राधाकुण्डं गिरिवरमहो राधिका माधवाशां प्राप्तो यस्य प्रतितकृपया श्रीगुरुं तं नतोऽस्मि. कृष्णादन्यमजानतक्षणमपि स्वप्नेऽपि विश्वेश्वरे तस्मिन् भक्तिमहैतु किं विदधतो हृत्काय वाग्भिः सदा. श्रीलान् सद्गुणपुञ्जकेलिनिलयान् प्रेमावतारानहं वन्दे भागवतानि माननुलवं मूर्ध्ना निपत्यक्षितौ. आजानुलम्बितभुजौ कनकावदातौ सङ्कीर्तनैकपितरौ कमलायताक्षौ विश्वम्भरौ द्विजवरौ युगधर्मपालौ वन्दे जगत्प्रियकरौ करुणावतारौ. जयतां सुरतौ पङ्गो मम मन्दमतेर्गति मत्सर्वस्वपदाम्बोजौ राधा मदनमोहनौ नीलाचलनिवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्रसुभद्राभ्यां जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। एकेन चक्रमपरेण करेण शङ्खम् अन्येन सिन्धुतनयामवलम्ब्य तिष्ठन् वामेतरेण वरदाभयपद्मचिह्नं लक्ष्मी नृसिंह मम देहि करावलम्बम्. So the next two shlokas are shlokas glorifying two, not we are going to recite three shlokas glorifying Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Let's all beg for his mercy to understand his instructions, the Siksastakam prayers. This prayer is from Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati's Chaitanya Chandramrita. We have discussed this before, most of you will already know. आनन्दलीलामय विग्रहाय हेमाभदिव्यच्च विसुन्दराय तस्मै महाप्रेम रसप्रदाय चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते. Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. I offer my obeisances to Sri Chaitanya Chandra. How is this Chaitanya Chandra? Ananda Leelamaya Vigrahaya. He is the very form of blissful pastimes. No? Ananda Leelamaya Vigrahaya. He is embodied happiness. Hemabha Divya Chavi Sundaraya. Hema is golden, Abha is luster. He has the beautiful dazzling luster like gold. Divya Chavi. Chavi is reflection and Divya is divine. Sundaraya, he is beautiful. Tasmai Mahaprema Rasa Pradaya. Onto him who awards us with Mahaprema Rasa. Onto the Chaitanya Chandra, I offer my obeisances. Obeisances onto Sri Chaitanya Chandra, the giver of the mellow of the highest love of Godhead, Mahaprema Rasa Pradaya, and who is the embodiment of blissful pastime, Ananda Leelamaya Vigrahaya, and who is so beautiful, having a dazzling like luster, Hema Divyachavi Sundaraya. I offer my obeisances onto him. This is from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, second chapter, second verse. First, let's recite the shloka, then we will read the meaning from Chaitanya Charitamrita. कृष्णोत्कीर्तनगाननर्तनकला पातो जनिब्राजित सद्भक्तावलिहंसचक्रमधुप श्रेणीविहारास्पदम् कर्णानन्दिक्कलध्वनिर्वहतु मे जिह्वामरुप्राङ्गणे श्रीचैतन्यदयानिधे तव लसल्लीलासुधा स्वर्धुनी कृष्णोत्कीर्तनगाननर्तनकला पातो जनिब्राजित सद्भक्तावलिहंसचक्रमधुप श्रेणीविहारास्पदम् कर्णानन्दिक्कलध्वनिर्वहतु मे जिह्वामरुप्राङ्गणे श्रीचैतन्यदयानिधे तव लसल् लीलासुधा स्वर्धुनी. Jihva is Maruprangana. Here, Krishnaraj Kaviraj Goswami is telling that our tongues are like deserts. When will the deserts be nourished? When there's a lot of water flowing. So there is a Swardhuni is heavenly water. Swardhuni is Ganga because she is the heavenly river. She is called as Swardhuni. So the Swardhuni called Sri Chaitanya Dayanidhi Lasal Leela. Lasal is very shining, dazzling. Leela is pastimes. So our Jihva is Maruprangana, is a desert. But the water of the dazzling pastimes of the Dayanidhi, the mercy chest called Sri Chaitanya, he is flowing when the pastimes of when the Ganga water called the pastimes of the all merciful Lord Chaitanya flow on the Maruprangana, then it is nourished. So we are going to read about this Sri Chaitanya. Krishnot Krishna Utkirtana. Utkirtana means loud chanting. So loud chanting, Gana, singing, Nartana, dancing, Kala and other fine arts regarding Krishna Kirtana. They're all like Patajani. Patojani means lotuses. Lotus with lotuses. Brajita is beautified. And then Sadbhakta, pure devotees. Sadbhaktavali, rows of pure devotees. They are all Hamsa, Chakra, Madupa, Shreni Viharaspad. So in um, the devotees are like the pure devotees are like Hamsas and bees and ducks. The nectarian Ganges of Lord's transcendental activities flow on the desert, my desert like tongue. Jihva Maruprangani. O Dayanide, Lord Chaitanya, may the nectarian Ganges like pastimes of your lordships flow on the desert like tongue of mine. These waters are beautified by lotus flowers called singing, dancing, and other fine arts, loud chanting, etc. And these are the pleasure abodes of devotees. In these waters, these singing, dancing, and other fine arts about Krishna are all like lotus flowers. And the devotees, the rows of devotees are all like swans, ducks, and bees. And when this river is flowing, it produces such melodious sound that it Karnanandi Kaladvani. When the Lord's pastimes are heard, the Ganges of Lord's pastimes create such wonderful sound that it is very, very pleasing to the ear. Krishnot Kirtana Gana Nartana Kala Pato Jani Brajita. These waters are beautified by Krishna Utkirtana Gana Nartana Kala. And then they're swarmed. Lotuses ekkadunte akkada there are nice swans and ducks and bees. So the pure devotees are all Sadbhaktavali Hamsa Chakra Madupa. Madupa Shreni, Viharaspadaam, they're all doing Vihara in Krishna Kirtana Gana Nartana Kala. And then Karnanandir Kaladvanir Vahatume, let it flow. This Leela Sudha Swarduni, the nectarian pastime, the Ganga of the nectarian pastimes of. Yes, Mataji.
తెలుగులో తెలుగులో చెప్పండి మాతాజీ. ఇంకొక మాతాజీ కూడా అడిగారు, ఇద్దరు అడిగారు మాతాజీ.
ఓ
హరే
తెలుగులో
కృష్ణ.
చెప్పాలా? రెండు భాషలో చెప్తే మనకు టైం తగ్గిపోతుంది. ఐ టెల్ యూ, చెప్తాను. ఇది ఇంగ్లీష్లో చెప్పాక
ఇదొక
చెప్తాను. The the waters of Lord Chaitanya's beautiful pastimes, Lasat, the dazzling waters, are decorated by the lotus flowers called singing, dancing, and other fine arts. And the Sadbhaktavali are all doing vihara there. And the sound of these waters is very, very pleasing to the ears. कृष्णोत्कीर्तन गान नर्तन कला पातो जनि ब्राजित सद्भक्तावलि हंस चक्र मधुप श्रेणी विहारास्पदम कर्णानंदिर्कल ध्वनिर्वहतु मे जिह्वा मरुप्रांगणे श्री चैतन्य दयानिधे तव लसत् लीला सुधा स्वर्धुनि. ఓ దయానిధి అయిన చైతన్య మహాప్రభు, మీ ప్రకాశవంతమైన లీలలనే గంగా నది ఎడారి లాంటి నా నాలుక మీద ప్రవహించనివ్వండి. ఈ నీళ్ళల్లో కృష్ణ కీర్తనము, గానము, నర్తనము అనే కళలన్నీ కూడా విరాజిల్లుతున్నాయి, మంచి మంచి తామర పువ్వుల్లాగా. ఈ సద్భక్తులు ఎవరైతే ఉన్నారో, శుద్ధ భక్తులు ఎవరైతే ఉన్నారో, వాళ్ళు హంసల్లాగా, తర్వాత మధుపాల్లాగా, తర్వాత చక్రవాక పక్షుల్లాగా, అంటే ఇలా కుప్పలు కుప్పలుగా ఈ ఈ కీర్తన నృత్యాదుల్లో వాళ్ళు విహరిస్తున్నారు. ఈ ఈ ఈ ఈ మీ లీలలనే గంగానది ప్రవహించినప్పుడు కర్ణాలకు ఎంతో ఆనందంగా ఉంది. అటువంటి ప్రకాశవంతమైన మీ లీలలనే గంగానది మరుద్భూమి లాంటి ఎడారి వంటి నా నాలుక మీద ప్రవహించనీయండి అని కృష్ణదాస్ కవిరాజ్ గోస్వామి ఆదిలీలలో రాస్తున్నారనమాట. చాలా చక్కటి శ్లోకము, అందరూ కూడా నేర్చుకోండి. కృష్ణోత్కీర్తన గాన నర్తన కళా పాతో జని బ్రాజిత సద్భక్తావలి హంస చక్ర మధుప శ్రేణీ విహారాస్పదం కర్ణానందిర్కలధ్వనిర్వహతు మే జిహ్వా మరుప్రాంగణే శ్రీ చైతన్య దయానిధే తవ లసల్ లీలా సుధా స్వర్ధుని. ఇప్పుడు మనం చదువుకుపోయే ఈ శ్లోకం ఆనందలీలామయ విగ్రహ యొక్క చదువుకున్నాము, కృష్ణోత్కీర్తనకు చదువుకున్నాము. ఇది 3వ శ్లోకము. ఎందుకు ఇంతలా మంగళాచరణ శ్లోకాలు పెట్టారు అంటే, మనము ఎంత విన్నా ఎంత చదివినా ఆయన చైతన్య మహాప్రభువుల వారి కృప యొక్క ఆమ్, ఆ, కృపకి మనం పాత్రులు అవ్వడానికి మనకి ఎటువంటి అర్హత లేకపోయినప్పటికీ ఎంత దయ ఆయనకి మనకి ఆయన గురించి వినే ఆయన గురించి తెలుసుకునే ఆ, ఇంత విశేషమైన అద్భుతమైన అవకాశం మనకి లభించింది. అది అది ఖచ్చితంగా మన గురుదేవుల యొక్క విశేషమైన కృప. ప్రాప్తో యస్య ప్రతిత కృపయ, ఎవరి విశేషమైన కృప వల్ల మనకి చైతన్య మహాప్రభువుల వారి అనుచరులు, వాళ్ళ అనుచరుల యొక్క సందేశాలు ఉపదేశాలు వినే అవకాశము, చైతన్య మహాప్రభువుల వారి యొక్క ఉదాత్తమైన కరుణని తెలుసుకునే అవకాశము లభించిందో ఆ గురుదేవులకి మళ్ళీ మళ్ళీ నమస్కరిస్తూ we are going to read one more shloka. This is from Madhurya Kadambini of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura. This is the Mangalacharna Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura wrote to the Madhurya Kadambini book, glorifying Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy as cloud bank of nectar. हृद्वप्रे नवभक्ति सस्य वितते संजीवनी स्वागम रंबे कामतपर्तुदाहदमनि विश्वापगोल्लासिनी दूरान्मे मरुशाकिनोऽपि शरसि भावाय भूयात् प्रभु श्रीचैतन्य कृपानिरङ्कुशमः माधुर्य कादम्बिनी प्रभु श्री चैतन्य कृपा निरंकुश महामाधुर्य कादम्बिनी हृद्वप्रे. Here the heart is compared to a kshetra field. Navabhakti sasya vitate. So there a plant has to grow, a sapling has to grow. So somebody has to infuse the grains inside, right? Only when seed is sown, then the plant will grow. So what is the seed? Navabhakti Sasya. Navabhakti can mean ninefold bhakti or also fresh bhakti. The fresh bhakti that our Navagauravara has given us. The fresh bhakti of Radha Krishna Prema, Madhurya Prema. This ninefold bhakti is there in the heart. But for the seed of bhakti to sprout, we need water. The cloud has to come and it has to shower. So that cloud bank of nectar is Mahaprabhu's mercy. That's what they say in this verse. The causeless and completely independent mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Chaitanya Kripa Nirankusa, Mahamadurya Kadambani is like a cloud bank of exquisitely sweet nectar. What is it doing? Hridvapre Navabhakti Sasya Vitate Sanjeevani Swagama. In the heart of a devotee, it is infusing life into the grains of this ninefold bhakti. రంబే కామతపర్తుదాహదమని విశ్వాపగోల్లాసిని. Apaga means, apa is water, apaga is the flowing water, that means river. So the river of people are all enthused when these cloud bank of nectars of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy is coming. From the very beginning, from Duran me, somewhere you see the cloud, when it is scorching, we are in a village.
హరే కృష్ణ.
వైఫై అక్కడ పోయినట్టుంది మాతాజీ. మాతాజీ మొబైల్ నుంచి లాగిన్ అవుతారు కాసేపు.
Hare Krishna. You're able to hear me?
Yes, Mataji.
Sorry, we are in a village, no? The power keeps going. So I connected through mobile data. Hopefully this should help.
It's a warning to us to hear more carefully, Mataji, when the power goes.
So I really lose track when I done the break. Duran me maru shakinopi sarasi bhavaya bhuyat prabhu. From the very beginning itself, somewhere far the cloud is appearing. Then in the desert there is so much of happiness, because the scorching heat of material desires is actually drying up our heart. But when this cloud bank of nectar called Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy is seen from very far, and then there is joy to all the worlds. So the causeless and completely independent mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a cloud bank of sweet nectar that infuses life into the grains of bhakti in the hearts of the devotees. And from the very beginning, from very far itself, it is giving relief from the scorching material desires, and it is giving joy to the whole universal beings are compared to a river. The whole river is being made joyful, and may those nectar clouds refresh me, who's like a dried up tree in the desert. Where is the Marushakino? Duran me Marushakino. From very far itself, a dried up shaka like me may be refreshed by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in the previous sloka, Mahaprabhu's Leela is compared to all purifying Ganga, Swardhuni. And in this, it is compared to the all rejuvenating cloud bank of nectar. ఈ శ్లోకంలో శ్రీ చైతన్య మహాప్రభువుల వారి నిరంకుశమైన కృపని అమృతవర్షిణి అయిన మేఘంతో పోలుస్తున్నారు, మేఘాల గుంపుతో పోలుస్తున్నారు అనమాట. కాదంబిని అంటే మేఘాల గుంపు, మధురమైన మేఘాల గుంపు వంటి చైతన్య మహాప్రభువుల వారి కృప ఏదైతే ఉందో అది వర్షించినప్పుడు భక్తుల యొక్క హృదయాల్లో నవవిధ భక్తి బీజాలని అది స్ప్రౌట్ అయ్యేలా చేస్తుందన్నమాట. అలాంటి ఆయన కృప ఎడారి వంటి నన్ను కూడా, నా హృదయాన్ని కూడా ఉజ్జీవింపచేయుగాక అని ప్రార్థిస్తున్నారనమాట. హృద్వప్రే నవభక్తి సస్య వితతే సంజీవని స్వాగమ రంబే కామత పర్తుదాహదమని విశ్వాపగోల్లాసిని దూరాన్మే మరుషాకినోపి సరసి భావాయ భూయాత్ ప్రభు శ్రీ చైతన్య కృపా నిరంకుశ మహామాధుర్య కాదంబిని. ప్రభు శ్రీ చైతన్య కృపా నిరంకుశ మాధుర్య కాదంబిని. ఇప్పుడు మనము ఇవాళ నుంచి కొన్ని వారాల పాటు శ్రీ చైతన్య మహాప్రభువుల వారు మనకు అందించిన శిక్షాష్టకం, శ్రీ చైతన్య శిక్షాష్టకమునే మనం శిక్షాష్టకం అని పిలుస్తాం. ప్రతిరోజు మంగళారతి తర్వాత చదువుతూ ఉంటాము. వీఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు డిస్కస్ అండ్ ట్రై టు అండర్స్టాండ్ ద మీనింగ్ ఆఫ్ శ్రీ చైతన్య శిక్షాష్టకం. The Siksastakam prayers, they are commonly called as the 8 prayers given to us as instructions by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that we recite every day in our morning programs. And Srila Prabhupada has asked us to do this every day because they're so important. Anything the teacher asked us to read every day, write every day, it is very important. The essence of Sankirtana, the mood in which holy names have to be chanted, the glories of the holy names, and the desperate mood in which the holy names have to be chanted, the powers of the holy names, all these are explained in the various verses of the Siksastakam. So today, one thing we will do for sure is recite all the 8 verses. And 1-2 common mistakes that devotees do while reciting. 1-2 I would like to point out, because those 1-2 mistakes are actually changing the meaning, completely opposite. So those 1-2 I would like to point out so that we can do the right ucharana. And then Cheto Darpana Marjanam, this phrase alone we will try to discuss today, and we'll try to continue more about the phrase in the next class. So Sri Chaitanya Shikshashtakam, what does this mean? Sri Chaitanya Shikshashtakam. Sri means auspicious. Shri means prakashavantano. Shri means bright. Shri means auspicious. Shri means with Lakshmi, Bhakti Lakshmi, and Ananda Lakshmi, whatever. And Chaitanya is by Lord Chaitanya. Chaitanya also means consciousness. And Shiksha Ashtakam. Shiksha is instruction. Upadesha. Shiksha. Shiksha is instruction, and Ashtakam is an octet. If a writing has 8 verses, then it's called a Ashtakam. Like we have Guru Ashtakam, and then we have Shed Goswami Ashtakam, we have Sachisuta Ashtakam. Like that, this is Siksha Ashtakam, an octet of 8 verses given as instruction by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to us. There is one common misunderstanding among devotees that this is the only work given to us by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Actually, other than the 8 Siksastakam verses, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has compiled, has written many other verses. We see them in Rupa Goswami's Padyavali also, and in many other places also. Like we all have heard this verse, no? Naham Vipro Nacha Narapati. That is also a verse given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And there are many shlokas in Chaitanya Charitamrita. If we go through more than 10 to 12 shlokas, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has penned them. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also wrote a Shivashtakam on Lingaraj Mahadev of Bhuvaneshwar. And then he also wrote a stotra called Premamrita Rasayana Stotra, etc. There are many other works also of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But why is it that our acharyas have stressed so much on these 8 prayers called Sri Sikshastakam? Is because in Antya Leela 20th chapter is called Sri Sikshastakam prayers. Prabhupada called them Sri Sikshastakam prayers. In that chapter, when we read through the chapter, we are going to briefly, quickly read through the translations of the chapter, so that we know how much Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stressed on the importance of these verses, and how much he relished these verses. Though he wrote so many verses, these 8 verses he would time and again in his last days, when he was in Gambira alone with Ramananda Raya and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, these 8 verses he would repeatedly recite and then explain and then meditate and contemplate, and he would talk about them again and again to Swarup Damodara and Raya Ramananda. Because Mahaprabhu told us so many times, and he stressed on the importance of these 8 verses so much. Many of our acharyas in the Gaudiya line have written so many elaborate commentaries on the Sikshastakam, and our acharyas also, our immediate acharyas are also stressing upon us every day reciting these and meditating on the meaning and understanding the glories of the holy name given to us by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Sikshastakam prayers. So,
Hare Krishna Mataji, Antyalila second chapter Mataji.
Antyalila last chapter, 20th chapter లో శ్రీ శిక్షాష్టకం ప్రేయర్స్ అని ఉంది ఆ చాప్టర్ పేరు. We will read through the translations of the chapter once. So these 8 verses of Sikshastakam, what we read, starting with Chaito Darpana Marjanam, which in Chaitanya Charitamrita, they are not in this order. They are not in this order, and they were first recorded in Padyavali. Padyavali was written by Rupa Goswami. Chaitanya Charitamrita was written later by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. So Padyavali is a book previous to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So the first recorded proof of the Sikshastakam prayers we see in Padyavali. So Chaitanya Charitamrita books also, in our BBT version we don't see, but in the Padyavali versions and in Chaitanya Charitamrita Gaudiya Math versions and all, it is given that this is taken from Padyavali. The number of the shloka in Padyavali is also mentioned there. So in Padyavali, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 verses of Sikshastakam are in Padyavali. We have 22, 31, 32, 94, 71, 93, 324 and 337. This is their number in the Padyavali. So there, Rupa Goswami, Padyavali is the anthology of devotional verses which have been compiled by Srila Rupa Goswami. He compiled it from many of the previous acharyas. So there are some by Vishnu Puri, some by this Krishna Karnamrita work, Bilva Mangala, all the previous saint poets who have written nice poems, he has collected and made a anthology. In that anthology, some of the all the shlokas of Sikshashtaka are also included in a different order, and Rupa Goswami writes it as, attributes it to Bhagavan Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He writes like that. The author's name is given, most of the Padyavali verses. This is Srila Vishnu Puri Goswami, Srila Bilva Mangala. Like that, he writes Bhagavan Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He has given these shlokas in the Padyavali. In Chaitanya Charitamrita also, we see this in this order. Little 4 and 5, 5, 6 are little up and down. Order is little different, but this has always been credited. Krishnadas Kaviraja Goswami always credited that he took these Siksastakam verses from Padyavali. Why he has actually put these 8 together in this order is, in the 20th chapter we are going to read that Mahaprabhu in this order and these particular verses, he has 20.12, 16. What are these? Those are the number of the Siksastakam slokas, looks like. Okay. So, these are Mahaprabhu time and again recited these slokas along with some more prayers, related prayers from Bhagavatam, and then Gita Govindam, and then Krishna Karnamritam, and what else was there? Gita Govind and Jagannath Vallabha Nataka of Raya Ramananda. All this he would recite. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's whole life spanned 48 years. In that, the first 24 years he spent in Navadvipa. No, he was in Grihastha Ashrama. And then the last 24 years he was in Puri. Out of the last 24 years, 12 years he went for Yatra, South Indian Yatra, and he was doing all those. And the remaining years he was in Puri. The years he resided in Puri, 6 to 8 years, 6 years, he spent in Kirtan with the devotees, and then organizing Rath Yatras, and then giving in the Jumna mercy and all these things. The last 12 years he stayed in Gambhira with only 2 people, Lalita Vishaka, that is Raya Ramananda and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. No, Swarup Damodara, sorry. Swarup Damodara and Raya Ramananda in Gambhira. So it is explained that Gambhira, staying inside Gambhira means, Gambhira is actually an epithet for Radharani. Gam means going, okay? Bhi means afraid. Ra means, Gambhira means one who is afraid that Krishna will go away. That fear of separation from Krishna is actually Gambhira. So Mahaprabhu was within Gambhira. Within Gambhira means that he was so deeply engrossed in that mood of Sri Radharani, that fear of separation from Krishna. He was deeply meditating in that rasa while he was in Gambhira. And while he was in Gambhira in these last 12 years, alone with Rai Ramananda and Swarup Damodara, he would time and again recite the Siksastakam prayers. He would tell them how important is Sankirtana. And he would keep reciting these Siksastakam prayers again and again. That is the reason those 12 years of Mahaprabhu's life that he spent in deep state of the Radha Bhav, they're very, very important. He recited the whole Ashtakam always. So let's quickly recite the Ashtakam first. These all the 8 verses, they were compiled by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the first 24 years of his life. He was a great Pandita in Navadvipa. He was a Nimai Pandita. No? He composed all these while he was in Navadvipa, but then he relished them while he was in Gambhira. That is what is told. There are some verses proving that. So these verses, they're very apparently deep meaning, very meditative, and so heavy with emotion. But otherwise also, grammatically and poetry-wise also, they're all very beautiful. That is what our acharyas have explained. And the first verse, Cheto Darpana Marjanam, is in a chandas called Shardula Vikridita. Shardula Vikridita, what verse do we know? Janmadhyasya yatonvayaditarataschaarteshvabhignaswarat. 111. That is Shardula Vikridita. So Cheto Darpana Marjanam is in that tune. And then second verse we have is, I will show, let us look at the verses also. Darpana Marjanam Bhavam. Namna Makari Bahuda. That is in Vasanta Tilaka. Vasanta Tilaka, we have Yam Pravrajantam Anupetam Apeta Krityam, Sukdev Goswami's prayer. That is in Vasanta Tilaka. Then we have a third one, Trinadapi Sunichena, is in Anushtup. And then we have 4th, 5th and 6th verses. They are in a chandas called Viyogini or Sundari. We don't have any verses in Bhagavatam with this chandas. And then the 7th verse is in Anushtup again, and the 8th verse is in Upajati. Anustup is our standard Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre, that tune. And then eighth verse is in Upajati. Upajati verse is Garbhastuti prayers. We have some verse. Mm, त्वमे त्वमेकमेवास्य शतप्रसूतिस्त्वं सन्निधानं त्वमनुग्रहस्य. That is actually Upajati. Why am I actually telling about the Chandas here is, many times when we know the Chandas, every Chandas has a particular tune in which you have to read. For example, the first one, Shardula Vikredita, it has in each line, it has 19 syllables. And the style of the chandas is such that after 12th one there is a yati. That means you have to give a pause. For example, Janmadhyasya yatonvayadi taratas. There is a pause. Cheto darpanamarjanam bhavamaha. Then there is a pause. Davagni nirvapanam. When we recite the shloka in the right meter, then there is a very low probability that we would recite the shloka wrong. It is easier to recite the shloka correctly. Oh, Krishna is Bhavagrahi Janardana. Murka may say Vishnaya and Pandita may say Vishnave. But Ubhayam tu samam punyam Bhavagrahi Janardana. Why should we recite it exactly? Because we're trying to do better service. Sometimes what happens, there's this verse, Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram. So many times, because of our musical enthusiasm, we say Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram. So Tanuja and Tanuja, there are two words. Tanuja means son. Nanda Tanuja is Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, our sweet Lord. Nanda Tanuja means Durga, no, Maya Devi. So instead of Ainanda Tanuja Kinkara means I want to become a servant of Lord Krishna. If we say Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram, that means I want to become a servant of Maya. So the very the very essence of the prayer is gone, no? So sometimes it is important that we know little about the meters just to serve better. So when we cook some vegetables, for some you have to put salt, for some you have to cut in salt, some you have to put oil and boil. Why these things? Just to serve better. So little details about the chandas and the meter will help us in reciting correctly, so that though not by our endeavor we will achieve success, but seeing our endeavor, the merciful Lord may quickly bestow upon us. Oh, they're trying so much, they're trying to do it well, they're trying better to improve each time, they're trying to fine tune their recitation. Our endeavor will attract the Lord's mercy. That is our only intention. It is not for some for Panditya Pradarshana or anything. And it also helps us understand that our acharyas, they were such profound devotees, but poetry wise also our Gaudiya Vaishnava poetry is so rich. We have such rich literature with respect to poetic viewpoint also. So let's recite the shlokas. Cheto Darpana Marjanam. Is everybody able to see? Oh, I didn't share. Mataji, you're able to see?
Yes, Mataji.
चेतो दर्पणमार्जनं भवमहादावाग्निर्वापनं श्रेयः कैरवचन्द्रिकावितरणं विद्यावधू जीवनम् आनन्दाम्बुदिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतास्वादनं सर्वात्मस्नपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्ण संकीर्तनम् नाम्नामकारि बहुधा निज सर्वशक्तिः तत्रार्पिता नियमितस्मरणेन कालः एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवन्ममापि दुर्दैवमीदृशमिहा जनिनानुरागः त्रिनादपि सुनीचेन तरोरपि सहिष्णुना अमानिना मानदेन कीर्तनीयः सदा हरिः न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितां वा जगदीश कामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भवताद् भक्तिरहैतुकी त्वयि ऐनन्दतनुज किङ्करं पतितं मां विषमे भवाम्बुधौ कृपया तव पादपङ्कज स्थितधूलिसदृशं विचिन्तय नयनं गलदश्रुधारय वदनं गद्गदरुद्धया गिरा पुलकैर्निचितं वपुः कदा तव नाम ग्रहणे भविष्यति युगायितं निमेषेण चक्षुषा प्रावृषायितं शून्यायितं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्दविरहेण मे आश्लिष्य वा पादरतां पिनष्टु माम् अदर्शनान् मर्महतां करोतु वा यथा तथा वा विददातु लम्पटो मत्प्राणनाथस्तु स एव नापर हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So we will read some translations from the 20th chapter of Antyalila. The following summary of the 20th chapter is given by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Amrita Pravaha Bhashya. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu passed his nights tasting the meaning of the Siksastakam prayers in the company of Swarupa Damodar Goswami and Ramananda Raya. Sometimes he recited verses from Jayadeva Goswami's Gita Govinda, from Srimad Bhagavatam, from Sri Ramananda Raya's Jagannatha Vallabha Nataka, or from Sri Bilvamangala Thakur's Krishna Karnamrita. In this way, he became absorbed in ecstatic emotions. For the last 12 years of his pastimes here, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu lived at Jagannath Puri. He relished the taste of reciting such transcendental verses. Altogether, the Lord was present in this mortal world for 48 years. After hinting about the Lord's disappearance, the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita gives a short description of the Antyalila and then ends his book. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Lord's disappearance is not elaborately explained. There are other books like Chaitanya Bhagavata, Chaitanya Mangala, where the other details are given. But Krishnadasa Kaviraja Goswami ends Chaitanya Charitamrita with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in a state of ecstasy, meditating on the Siksastakam prayers. So, let's quickly read through some 10 verses, maybe first 12 and then 138 and 139. Only the most fortunate will relish the mad works of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which were mixed with jubilation, envy, agitation, submissiveness, and grief, all produced by ecstatic loving emotions. All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all glories to Nityananda Prabhu, all glories to Advaita Chandra, and all the glories to all the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. While Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thus resided at Jagannathapuri, Neelachala, he was continuously overwhelmed night and day by separation from Krishna. Day and night he tasted transcendental blissful songs and verses with two associates, namely Swarupa Damodar Goswami and Ramananda Raya. He relished the symptoms of various transcendental emotions such as jubilation, lamentation, anger, humility, anxiety, grief, eagerness, and satisfaction. He would recite his own verses under Siksastakam prayers, expressing their meanings and emotions, and thus enjoy tasting them with these two friends. Sometimes the Lord would be absorbed in a particular emotion and would stay awake all night reciting related verses and relishing their taste. In great jubilation, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "My dear Swarupa Damodara and Ramananda Raya, know from me that chanting the holy names is the most feasible means of salvation in this age of Kali." See, this shows the Lord's merciful nature. He is actually engrossed so much in Radha Bhava. He is deeply relishing those emotions. But even in such deep emotional state also, the Lord did not forget His kripa on us. He is still thinking what is the means of salvation for us, people of age of Kali. Though he is in such deep separation bhava in Radha bhava, relishing Krishna's mood, but the Lord, that's why he's called Mahavadanyaya. He's a Madhurya Kadambini. His leelas are a Swardhuni. He's all merciful. He's Krishna's mercy, so many multifold times. Even in such deep state of experiencing bhava also, he didn't forget saving us, means of instructing means of salvation for us. That is his mercy. In great jubilation, see, the seventh verse is telling he's absorbed in a particular emotion. He's not able to sleep. He's awake all night reciting the related verses and relishing their taste. But when he's talking to Swarupa Damodara and Ramananda Raya, he's telling the holy names is the most feasible means for the salvation in this age of Kali. In this age of Kali, the process of worshipping Krishna is to perform sacrifice by chanting the holy name of the Lord. One who does so is very intelligent and he attains the shelter at the lotus feet of Lord. And then he's telling our famous verse, Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishnam Sango Pangastra Parshadam Yajnai Sankirtana Praya Yajantihi Sumedasa. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead who constantly sings the names of Krishna. Although his complexion is not black, Krishna Varnam Tusha, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, Sango Pangastra, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. Simply by chanting the holy names of Lord Krishna, one can be freed from all undesirable habits. This is the means of awakening all good fortune and initiating the flow of waves of Lord love for Krishna. In the 12th verse, he is telling the first shloka of Siksastakam. Cheto darpanamarjanam bhavamaha davagni nirvapanam shreyakkairava chandrika vitaranam vidyavadu jivanam anandambudi vardhanam प्रतिपदेर पूर्णामृत आस्वादनम सर्वात्म स्नपनम परम विजयते श्री कृष्ण संकीर्तनम परम विजयते श्री कृष्ण संकीर्तनम let there be victory for the chanting of the holy names of Lord Krishna. Let there be all jaya to Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, which can cleanse the mirror of the heart, Cheto Darpanam Arjanam, stop the miseries of the blazing fire of material existence, Bhavamaha Davagni Nirvapanam. The chanting is the waxing moon that spreads the white lotus of good fortune for all living. Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam. Then it is the life and soul of all education. Vidya Vadu Jivanam. The chanting of holy name expands the blissful ocean of transcendental life. Anandambudi Vardhanam. It gives a cooling effect to everyone and enables one to taste full nectar at every step. Anandambudi Vardhanam Pratipadam Purnamrita Aswadanam. Shreyakkairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadu Jivanam Anandambudi Vardhanam Pratipadam Purnamrutaswadanam. And then Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. That is there, let there be victory is already there. So this is the verse. He's after this he's chanting the other Siksastakam verses also. Let's once look at verse number 138 and 139. Correct vachina. 138. Verse 138 says, the 20th chapter tells us how Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recited his own 8 stanzas of instruction and tasted their meaning in ecstatic love. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu composed those 8 stanzas to instruct the devotees, but he also personally tasted their meaning. So he particularly wrote it for us, and he also personally relished them very much. So though he wrote many verses other than the Siksastakam also, because he personally relished and instructed his devotees very much about these 8 prayers have taken much prominence in the Acharya instructions later in our Sampradaya. So in this first verse, Cheto Darpana Marjanam, before we go to the verse, there are many acharyas who have written commentaries on the Siksastakam. Commentary is a bhashya or a tika or a tippani to help us understand the shloka better. So, like we have so many commentaries on Bhagavatam, no? Like Sarartha Darshini, and then we have Vishnu Chakravarti Sarartha Darshini, and then there are commentaries by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhagavad Arka Marichimala, and then we have Vishnupuri Goswami's Bhakti Ratnavali. Like that, there are many commentaries on Bhagavatam. Like that, there are many commentaries on the Siksastakam. Let me tell you some of them. there is a Anubhashya or Anuvritti by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur on Siksastakam. There is a Sanmodana Bhashyam by Bhakti Vinod Thakur. And then there is a Ananda Chandrika Bhashya by Utsavananda. I'll post these in the group names if required. And then our Karnaladika Mataji, she sent me a link of Hariparsad Prabhu's lecture. In that, Prabhu has explained the Siksastakam prayers from the commentaries of all these acharyas. And there is a Rasikarangada Bhashya by Veerachandra Goswami. This is in Sanskrit. The previous ones are in Bengali. And then there is one commentary by Kanupriya Goswami and one by Radha Govindanath Goswami. So around 6 commentaries Prabhuji has used while explaining the Siksastakam prayers. Ananda Chandrika by. So why are we taking the names of these commentaries and why are we taking the names of the commentators is, it is by their mercy that we are able to get a glimpse of the deep meanings of these wonderful prayers, wonderful verses. So it is etiquette to offer our prayers, thanks and gratitude to these acharyas who have explained to us the meaning of these profound verses. So Ananda Chandrika by Utsavananda, and then Anubhashya or Anuvritti of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and we have Sanmodana Bhashya by Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Rasikarangada Bhashya in Sanskrit by Veerachandra Goswami, and then there is Radha Govindanath Goswami's Bhashya and also Kanupriya Goswami's Bhashya. All these are there on the Siksastakam prayers available. So in the first verse, Chetod Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. So let there be all glories to the Sri Krishna Sankirtana. So that is the Jaya Dhvani, what we are doing. Jai, we say Jai like that. So all glories to Sri Krishna Sankirtana. May it reign over everything else. And all the other phrases told before Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam are all adjectives to Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. There are 7 adjectives given in the verse. Cheto Darpana Marjanam, and then Bhavamaha Davagni Nirvapanam, Shreyakkairava Chandrika Vitaranam, Vidyavadu Jivanam, Anandambudi Vardhanam, Pratipadam Purnamritaswadanam, Sarvatma Snepanam. So 7 adjectives of Sri Krishna Sankirtanam are given. So in this, first 2 are there, Cheto Darpana Marjanam and Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam. As soon as anybody starts the Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, these 2 will happen. But for all the other 5 symptoms to be manifest, one has to come to the stage of Ruchi. Only for those devotees who have genuine taste for Raganuga Bhakti. We have those levels, Ado Shraddha, Tada Sadhu Sangha, Nartari Vritti, Bhajana Kriya, Nishta, Sakti, Ruchi. For those devotees who have come to the stage of Ruchi, only for those devotees, the remaining 5 will be manifest. Otherwise, before that, by Sri Krishna Sankirtana, one can experience only these 2 adjectives, Cheto Darpana Marjanam, the cleaning of the mirror of consciousness, and Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam, relief from the blazing fire of samsara. Shreyakkairava Chandrika, Vidyavadu, Anandambudivardhanam, all these are seen only when a devotee attains the stage of Ruchi, that is genuine taste in the process of the Raganuga Bhakti. Only then these will be seen. So Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. When Sankirtanam means Samyak Kirtanam, very nicely done with proper consciousness, with a group of devotees. Individually, if you do, it is not Sankirtanam. With good consciousness, with like Gaura Bihita Kirtana Suni, with Kol, with Mridanga, Kartal, and in the presence of devotees, in the right mantra and the Kirtan, bona fide Kirtans are sung. That is Sankirtanam. So when Param Vijayate means, Param means topmost. Vijayate means it reigns over all. It is the supremely reigning over everything else. Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. When we say Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, the names of Krishna like Achyuta, Ananta, Govinda, so many, he has unlimited names. When we say Sri Krishna, Sri means Lakshmi, Sri means Radha. So along with Radha's Kirtan, when we do Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, then it is Param Vijayate. It reigns over everything else. So Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam Sankirtanam means may that Sankirtana of Krishna along with Srimati Radharani, very nicely done by the devotees, Vijayate, reign over all, Param, in the most exquisite way, in the topmost way. All glories to the Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. It reigns over everything else. Rajate Tavadanyat. It is ruling above all other methods of attaining perfection, the Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. So now let's look at this Cheto Darpana Marjanam and understand. So in the first verse, Cheto Darpana Marjanam is the first adjective of Sri Krishna Sankirtanam that we read. So Cheto Darpana Marjanam. Darpana means mirror. Darpana ante addam. Cheto Darpana means the mirror of the mind, the mirror of consciousness. It is all dirty. Why it is dirty? Because it has so much of dust on it. Because of the dust, it is dirty. And Sri Krishna Sankirtanam will help you clean the dust on the mirror of your consciousness. So, what is the dust on your consciousness? The material dust. There are three types of material dust that are told in the Ananda Chandrika commentary. It is, first one is called Isha Vaimukya Rupa Anyabhilasha. Isha Vaimukya Rupa Anyabhilasha means Anyabhilasha means any desire other than Krishna, any desire other than the service of the Lord. That is one first dust. Second one is Phala Bhoga, fruitive activities. I am doing this, I will enjoy the result. And then there is something called Phala Tyaga, I am dry renunciation. No? So I don't want this, I don't know. Anything that is useful in Krishna service, we should accept this. Yes,
మూడు
Mataji?
ఒకసారి తెలుగులో చెప్పరా మాతాజీ ఆ మూడు వివరణ
మూడువా ఒకటి అన్యాభిలాష అంటే కృష్ణేతరమైన వాటిలో రుచి ఉండడం, కృష్ణేతరమైన కృష్ణుడి సేవ కాకుండా ఇతరాలు చేయాలనుకోవడం, కోరుకోవడం, అది మొదటిది. రెండోది ఫలభోగం అంటే మనం ఏమంటారు ఫ్రూటివ్ యాక్టివిటీస్ని ఏమంటారు తెలుగులో ఏమంటారు వాటిని ఫ్రూటివ్ యాక్టివిటీ అంటే ఏదైనా పని చేస్తే దాని ఫలితాలని మనం
ఫలాపేక్ష.
ఫలాపేక్ష భరితమైన కర్మలు చేయడం అన్నమాట. రెండోది ఫల త్యాగం, ఫలాపేక్ష. అన్యాభిలాష ఫలభోగ అంటున్నారు ఈ గోస్వామి ఇక్కడ. ఈశ వైముఖ్య రూప అన్యాభిలాష, ఫలభోగ, ఫలత్యాగ. ఫలత్యాగం కూడా చేయకూడదు, డ్రై రినౌన్సియేషన్ చేయకూడదు. ఏదైనా భగవంతుడి సేవలో ఉపయోగపడుతుందంటే దాన్ని స్వీకరించాలి. భగవంతుడి సేవలో ఉపయోగపడుతుందంటే నీకు ఇష్టం ఉన్నా లేకపోయినా దాన్ని వదిలేయాలి. ఈ ఈ ఈ మూడు రకాల దుమ్ము ఉన్నాయన్నమాట మన 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 చైతన్యం అనే అద్దం మీద, మన మనసు అనే అద్దం మీద, మన హృదయం అనే అద్దం మీద మూడు రకాల దుమ్ములు ఉన్నాయి. అవేంటయ్యా అంటే ఒకటి కృష్ణేతరమైన వాటిలో మనకి కోరిక కలిగి ఉండడం, చేసిన పనినంతా నేను కష్టపడ్డాను కాబట్టి నేను ఆస్వాదించాలి అని ఫలాపేక్ష భరితంగా చేయడం. ఇంకొకటి నాకు ఫలాపేక్ష లేదు కాబట్టి నాకు ఇది వద్దు వద్దు అనడం, కృష్ణ సేవలో ఉపయోగపడే వాటిని కూడా వద్దనడం అనమాట. యుక్త వైరాగ్యం అంటే ఏంటంటే కృష్ణుడి సేవలో ఏది అవసరమో అది స్వీకరించాలి, ఏదో అవసరం లేదో అది వదిలేదు, ప్రతిదాన్ని నేతి నేతి అని కూడా అనకూడదు అనమాట. ఈ మూడు రకాల దుమ్ములు మన చైతన్యం మీద ఆవరించి ఉన్నాయట. ఈ శ్రీకృష్ణ సంకీర్తన అనేది ప్రధానతమ యంత్రం అట మన చైతన్యాన్ని శుద్ధిపరచడానికి, చీఫ్ ఇన్స్ట్రుమెంట్. So Sri Krishna Sankirtana is the Pradhanatama yantra to clear the consciousness of our mind. So Sri Krishna Sankirtana is the chief instrument. These three kinds of dust that are there on our mind. Ramakrishna Govinda ఇలాంటి పేర్లు ఏవైతే ఉన్నాయో, అచ్యుతానంద గోవింద, రామకృష్ణ గోవింద, సమ్ శాంపుల్ నేమ్స్ ఇస్తున్నారు. వాట్ ఇస్ శ్రీకృష్ణ సంకీర్తన అంటే కాలింగ్ అవుట్ ద నేమ్స్ ఆఫ్ ద లార్డ్. దట్ ఈస్ వాట్ it's told here. So the mirror like, see, some acharyas are telling mirror like consciousness. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is telling the mirror of consciousness. So some acharyas are using upama alankara, metaphor, that simile. Some are using rupaka, that is metaphor. Some are using simile, some are using metaphor. When metaphor is used, it means that it is more deeply emphasized, that it is like a mirror. So it has to be cleaned. Only when the mirror is cleaned, then the reflection is nicely seen, like that. So when a particular acharya uses metaphor instead of simile, that means he's stressing more on how dirty the mirror of consciousness is and how important it is to clean. That is what Prabhuji was telling. So in this We have taught Cheto Darpana Marjanam. Cleaning, if there is a term called cleaning, that means it is dirty. So the three kinds of dirts that are covering our consciousness we have discussed. So the Acharyas are explaining the cleaning method, Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, with some polika, what to say, with example. Our Veerachandra Goswami is calling this word marjanam, our Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, as Puta Jalam. Puta Jalam means pure water, like the holy water Ganges. When there's something, if you want to purify something, you sprinkle Ganga Jal, like that, right? So this Sri Krishna Sankirtanam is like the Ganga Jal, Puta Jala, pure water, cleaning water, purifying water. When you sprinkle it on the dirty mind with this Anya Bilasha, Phalabhoga, Phalatyaga, and then it becomes clean. So what happens when a mirror is clean? Then the reflection is nicely seen. So what reflection will be seen? Whatever is nearby, that is reflected. What is most close to the consciousness, to the heart, is the Supreme Lord Krishna. Krishna is immediately there. Bhagavan is there immediately beside your consciousness. So when your consciousness is cleaned with this Puta Jala called Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, then Bhagavan who is beside is clearly seen in the mirror of your consciousness. That is what Veerachandra Goswami is telling. Radha
అంటే
Govindanath
హరే కృష్ణ
Goswami.
మాతజీ,
Yes,
మన
Mataji.
హృదయంలో ఉన్న కృష్ణుడు కనబడతాడా మాతజీ మనం ఈ విధంగా
ఆయన
చేసుకుంటే?
మన చైతన్యానికి అతి దగ్గరగా ఉన్నవాడు భగవంతుడు అనమాట. ఇప్పుడు మిగతా వాళ్ళకైతే పరమాత్మగా ఉంటాడు, భక్తులకైతే దేవదేవుడు భగవంతుడుగానే ఆయన ఉంటాడు. కాబట్టి ఎప్పుడైతే మన 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 చైతన్యం అనే అద్దం శుభ్రపరుస్తుందో మనకి బాగా కనిపించే మొదటి దేవుడు, అద్దంకి దగ్గరగా ఎవరుంటే వాళ్ళు బాగా కనిపిస్తారు. మన చైతన్యానికి అతి దగ్గరగా ఉన్నవాడు దేవదేవుడు భగవంతుడు కాబట్టి ఆయన్ని మనం స్పష్టంగా దర్శించగలుగుతాము మన చైతన్యం అనే అద్దాన్ని శుభ్రపరిచినప్పుడు. ఇక్కడ శుభ్రత అంటే ఏం చేస్తున్నారు? శ్రీకృష్ణ సంకీర్తనం అనే గంగా జలాన్ని జల్లుతున్నారు. అది వీరచంద్ర గోస్వామి చెప్తున్నారనమాట. సో ఆయన బాగా రిఫ్లెక్ట్ అవుతారు, ఆ భగవంతుడిని బాగా చూడగలుగుతాం. రాధా గోవిందనాథ్ గారు ఏం చెప్తున్నారంటే ఆయన ఈ మార్జనం అంటే దాన్ని ఒక శుభ్రమైన బట్టతో చెప్తున్నారు. మన అద్దం మీద చాలా దుమ్ము ఉంది అనుకోండి, ఒక శుభ్రమైన బట్టతో దాన్ని తుడుస్తాం. ఈయన ఏమంటున్నారంటే ఒక్కసారి తుడిస్తే ఆ దుమ్ము పోదు, తుడవగా 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 ఎంత తుడుస్తూ ఉంటే అంత బాగా భగవంతుడు అందులో దర్శనం కలిగిస్తాడు. మనం మళ్ళీ 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 సంకీర్తనం చేయగా 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 అది శుభ్రపడుతుంది. నువ్వు టు ద డిగ్రీ రాధా గోవిందనాథ్ గోస్వామి ఈజ్ కంపేరింగ్ శ్రీకృష్ణ సంకీర్తన టు అ clean cloth that we use to clean the mirror of our consciousness. So the more you clean, each time you clean, the more clear, the reflection of the Supreme Lord is more clearly seen. So Krishna, in the devotee's heart, Krishna is not alone. Krishna is there with his associates, with his dharma, performing his leela. So when a devotee is cleaning his consciousness with the cloth of Sri Krishna Sankirtana, his dharma, his leela, and all are very brightly reflected in a devotee's heart. His pastimes and then his abode, everything is seen. So we'll get a doubt. When the mirror is clear, everything will be seen. No, that means our material desires also will be cleanly reflected. Then how is it helping us come closer to Krishna? Then this Goswami, Radha Govindanath Goswami, is explaining that suppose there are so many things behind, but there is some very big thing in front of the mirror. So whatever is behind is not reflected, no? So in a devotee's heart, when the consciousness becomes purified, the Lord is so brightly seen. In the brightness of the Lord's glory, in the brightness of the Lord's pastimes, in the brightness of the Lord's very special appearance on the Chaitanya of the devotee's heart, of the devotee's consciousness, all the other things fade out. That is what he's telling. So he's telling that material tendencies will not they also be clearly visible? No. These tendencies are not near. They are blocked by Sri Krishna's all pervasive reflections. Others have no room. ఇంత పెద్దగా కృష్ణుడు అడ్డంగా నుంచుంటే వెనకాలన్న మన మెటీరియల్ టెండెన్సీస్ ఏవి కనపడవట. సో అద్దం బాగా శుభ్రమైపోతే భగవంతుడితో పాటు పక్కనే ఉన్న మన భౌతికమైన ఇచ్చలు, కోరికలు ఇవన్నీ కూడా కనిపించేస్తాయి కదా అంటే అలా కనిపించవు. చైతన్యం శుద్ధమైన భక్తుడి హృదయంలో శ్రీకృష్ణుడు ఎంత ప్రకాశవంతంగా ఉంటాడంటే ఆ శ్రీకృష్ణ లీలా గుణ ధామ వైభవ ప్రకాశంలో ఈ ఇతరాలన్నీ అవన్నీ కూడా మనకు కనపడవు అనమాట, అవి డల్ అయిపోతాయని ఈయన మనకి ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తున్నారనమాట. సో సరే సో డర్టీగా ఉంది, క్లీన్ చేయాలి, 3 రకాల దుమ్ములు ఉన్నాయి. ఆయనేమో గంగాజలం అనే నీళ్లు శ్రీకృష్ణ సంకీర్తనం జల్లండో అంటున్నాడు, ఈయనేమో శుభ్రమైన తెల్లటి గుడ్డ శ్రీకృష్ణ సంకీర్తనం తుడవండో అంటున్నాడు. బాగానే ఉంది. అసలు మన మన ఈ హృదయంకి మట్టి ఎలా పట్టింది, అసలు ఫస్ట్ ప్లేస్లో దుమ్ము ఎలా వచ్చిందట, అసలు ఈ దుమ్ము ఎలా వచ్చిందట అంటే మనకు తెలియదట. అనాదిగా ఉన్న అవిద్యా రూపమైన దుమ్మే ఇదనమాట. ఇది ఎప్పటి నుంచి వచ్చిందో తెలియదట. మనం మాయలో పడి ఉండడం వల్ల మాయ మనకి ఇతరోపాధులు, మనది కాని ఉపాధులు కొన్ని ఇచ్చేసిందట. So here next Govindanath Goswami is questioning, how did our consciousness become dirty at all in the first place? He says that it is because of our association with Maya. Maya has given us wrong upadhis. It is giving us conditioned. You are actually Das, but she will tell you you are the boss. So because of this lording over nature, because of the bad association, because of the false upadhis, we have, see, that's why we say sarvopadi vinirmuktam tat paratvena nirmalam. When you give up all these false upadhis, then you're rightly situated. Because of these false upadhis, our mirror has become dirty. So these designations are all dust. Our wrong any designation, any upadhi other than the upadhi that I am the servant of the Supreme Lord. Jivera swarupa hoy Krishnera nityadas. Our swarupa is dasya. So other than that, any other designation we have, that is the dust we have on our Chaitanya. So when we clean it again and again with Sankirtana repeatedly, our Chaitanya become cleaned, and we are established in our original upadhi called the Kinkara of the Supreme Lord. And there is one Goswami called Kanupriya Goswami. When he's telling about this Cheto Darpana, he's telling that the mirror has generally 3 defects. One thing is it is dusty. Yeah, it is something covered with everything. When you go see, nothing you can see. Another defect in the mirror is distorted reflection. Some mirrors we go in exhibition and see, no? In some mirrors we look so thin. In some mirrors we look so fat. In some mirrors the face is like this. Some mirrors have that defect. And some mirrors have some spots and there's a false reflection. You have to see that it won't show you that. It shows you something else like that. So dustiness, distorted reflections, and false reflections. These 3 are the general defects in mirrors. So in our Cheto Darpana also, in the mirror of our consciousness also, there are these 3 defects he's telling. So dusty is what? The anadi avidya, our ignorance of our position. Who am I? Who is the Supreme Lord? What is my relationship to him? My duty is to serve the Supreme Lord. I am the servant of the Supreme Lord. All this we have forgotten. So this forgetfulness is the main, avidya is the main dust. So what is the distorted reflection, distorted perception of the self? Who you think you are? I am the Jivatma. I am the eternal servant of the Lord. But we think that I am the mind, I am the body. Some people think I am the heroine in the TV serial. Some people think I am the car. That's why if car gets a hurt, they feel bad. Some people think I am my son. If my son is not getting first rank, I will feel bad. So what is our conception of the self? That false conception is this distorted reflection. I am not the body. I am not the mind. I am not my false ego. When we come to the right understanding that I am the spirit soul, the eternal servant of the Supreme Lord Krishna, then the reflection is no more distorted. So what is the false reflection? False reflection is our false ego. Darpa, no? Actually, darpana means one meaning, primary meaning. The Rudi meaning is mirror, adarsha or addam. But darpa means also pride, false pride. Darpana means my false pride. So the darpana word, it indicates mirror also. It indicates false pride also. So when these false designations are gone and you see clearly the Supreme Lord and you see yourself as the servant of the Supreme Lord, and then the false reflection is gone. So when the Cheto Darpana gets cleared off this avidya and dust of avidya, distorted reflection of I am the body, I am the mind, and gets rid of the false reflection of the false ego, then when it becomes clear, that is when you see all these symptoms of Sri Krishna Sankirtana manifest in your heart. So Sri Krishna Sankirtanam is the false ego cleanser. It is the real ego establisher. And then it removes all the defects of the mirrors of consciousness. These three types of mirror, the three types of dust, it cleans all these and makes our the mirror of our consciousness very clean. The first two, Cheto Darpana Marjanam, Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam, are seen as soon as you start doing Krishna Sankirtanam. All the other 5 symptoms are manifested gradually when a devotee attains the stage of Ruchi. So I will stop here. There is more to talk about Cheto Darpana Marjanam and Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam. We will try to complete the first verse in our next session. This is a very vast and deep topic, and I have no realizations about this. If I have missed out on something and if I have talked anything above my realization, please forgive me. And if there's anything Mataji would like to add or correct, please do so. Hare Krishna.
మాతాజీ రియల్ అహంకారం అంటే విద్యాహంకారం రెండునే మాతాజీ.
మిగతా రెండు ఉంటాయి. అహంకారం అంటే ఏంటి అంటే నేను అంటే ఎవరని, అహం అంటే నేను, అహంకారం అంటే నేను అంటే ఎవరని నువ్వు అనుకుంటున్నావు అనేది నీ అహంకారం. నేను అంటే ఈ రాజుని, నేను ఈ రాణిని, మా ఇంటికి నేనే బాసుని, ఇవన్నీ మిథ్యాహంకారం అనమాట. నిజమైన అహంకారం అంటే ఏంటంటే నిజంగా నువ్వెవరో నువ్వు తెలుసుకుంటే అది నిజం అహంకారం. నేను భగవంతుడి యొక్క నిత్య దాసుడిని, అది నిజమైన అహంకారం. నేను భగవంతుడి దాసుడిని అనే తప్ప ఇంకేదైనా నువ్వు అనుకుంటే అవన్నీ మిథ్యాహంకారం. క్లియరా?
థ్యాంక్ యూ.
సంజయ్ అయినా అడిగేది ఎవరు?
ఎస్ మాతాజీ.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so
Hare Krishna.
much.
Mataji, I'm sorry, I don't know how much I could tell, but please
No,
give your
Mataji.
feedback so that I'll improve each week. And there's so much to, I've heard
Yes,
so much. I didn't know what to tell, what to hold, how to summarize.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
Mataji,
in upcoming sections, I will perform better. Please bless me.
It's a very vast topic, but no, Mataji, చక్కగా చెప్పారు.
So
Because it's a
wonderful, Mataji, so wonderful, because myself, I'm saying, like, I'm just mechanically saying this and, not knowing the deep meaning of this.
Every day,
beautiful. I mean,
every day so
చాలా
quickly we are
బాగా.
reciting. Actually, after I start, from 2-3 days, I'm feeling so bad that how carelessly I have recited these prayers for so many years. So thank you so much.
Thank you so
Special
much,
thanks to
Mataji.
Karunaradhika Mataji for this opportunity.
Yes, Mataji.
Mataji, I've been
Mataji, ఇంకొకటి మీరు ఇప్పుడు when you sorry, Karunaradhika Mataji, you were saying something. Please go ahead.
No. The reason I wanted this for everyone is because I'm hearing and it's so deep. నేను కూడా రోజు మార్నింగ్ ఏదో 2-3 minutes లో చెప్పేస్తాను, ఏదో రిచువల్ లాగా. So then I heard one that was brief, but even then I understood so many details that I didn't know. But this one I'm hearing is completely mind-boggling unindi. So I thought it'll be nice for all the.
Today you sent me Chetan Charan Prabhu's also. Adi kuda koncham vinnanu. I made some notes, but I didn't know where to include that in this. So
Mataji, ఇది you can next time maybe you can cover the flow. ఎందుకంటే అందులో నవవిధ భక్తి వస్తుంది. And so all the limbs of Navavida Bhakti are there in this. And
next
so it
time
goes Sambandha to Prayojana. So how each verse takes you from Sambandha to Prayojana, you can detail much. So that flow is also so interesting that it will be nice to.
I heard it today only.
Mataji, you are the host, no? Can you please stop the recording?
Yes, please stop the recording.
And Mataji, don't worry about the time. We have time. So let us understand nicely, deeply. It's a very important subject matter. So don't be in a hurry for, time అయిపోతుందని.